Support for Jalen and Jacoby comes from Blue Apron. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh, perfectly portioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes so you can make incredible meals at home. Rediscover how fun cooking can be while reducing food waste and supporting sustainable farms and fisheries. Visit blueapron.com/Jalen to get your first 3 meals, a $30 value, free with free shipping.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, though?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
And we are Jalen Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We get to find individuals that have consistently
people.
supported this program for at least 5 years. Exactly what they want.
Let's do that.
When they want it.
Right now.
When they need it.
Let's get it. LeBron James.
Down with the king.
Is going to play the Toronto Raptors again in the postseason. And he had this interesting quote. I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to tighten it up a bit. Quote, I love playing out on the road more than I love playing at home. It's just a weird thing. I love the adversity. He goes on to say, it's the bunker mentality of knowing it's 15 guys plus the coaching staff and whoever's there that traveled with us against the whole state and the whole city. Take us behind the curtain. What does he mean?
Well, he left out the whole country because that's where he is when he's in Canada. Mm-hmm. It's not a city. It's not a state.
Good point.
What did the great American philosophers, the Locks, say? I don't have a home phone number because
I don't know.
I live on the road. And for LeBron James, when you're playing at home, you can rely on your role players more. J.R. Smith is going to be hitting multiple triples. Shumpert is going to play a lot better. Tristan Thompson seems like he's going to be everywhere. Kyle Korver, Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye. But when you're playing on the road, usually your best players have to carry the day. LeBron James, the ultimate superstar, understands this. This is why when you look back at his history, a lot of his big-time games happen on the road. When he scored 29 of 30 early in his Cleveland career against the Pistons. The way he showed up in Game 6 in Boston Garden versus the Celtics in their Big Three. So many notable opportunities for him to seize the moment usually will take place on the road because of that hostile environment. There's nothing like playing on the road and being able to silence the crowd.
See, that makes perfect sense. You know, because you are someone who has done it. And me, I look at it from my perspective, get away from the kids. You know what I mean? I'll just say, get away from the kids. You know, just get out of the house. You know, just get out of the stresses of the everyday life. You're isolated on the road. There is some serenity to that. That's how I looked at that quote. They are playing the Raptors who did beat the Bucks, but kind of blew a 25-point lead in doing so. Yeah. Is there some concern there?
Not at all. If you're a glass half empty person, yes.
That's me.
I'm a half full person. And once the Raptors got beat by approximately 30 after Game 3, there were many people that went on wax like, the Bucks got this. They have the best player in the Greek Freak. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, hit the brakes.
People who listen to Jalen Jacoby know exactly what Jalen said after they lost by 30.
The Raptors will find a way to win this series because they have 2 All-Stars in the backcourt. And DeMar DeRozan, he got going. When he was turning that corner with his right hand, he wasn't just laying it up. He was dunking it.
Yes, with 2 hands.
DeMar DeRozan was turning the corner like he was at the Drew League. Like he was not playing around. Yep. Kyle Lowry had his moments, in particular in victories. We know Serge Ibaka, what he's brought to the table. I give big props to Valanciunas. And Norman Powell was the difference. Here's a player that came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he's playing quality minutes at the biggest moment of the season, and he's delivered. But props to the Bucks. Their season is a success.
They'll be back.
Their season is a success.
They'll be back.
And you know, that's how I gauge realistic expectations.
It's like, did we think they were going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? No, they probably didn't think they were going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
No Jabari Parker.
No.
Got Middleton back. Next year, they'll be a formidable squad.
Have something in Thon Maker, too.
Have something in Thon Maker. Got him quality minutes. Brogdon, the rookie, showed his worth. Greek Freak became one of the top 10 players in the entire league. So now they have something to build on. They should be excited about their future. Team futuristic, I like to talk.
If it was an investment, I would invest in the Bucks right now because they are growth. But they're not going to be playing basketball anymore. They're all going on vacation.
I need a vacation.
Also is Drake. Drake's on vacation in the Dominican Republic. He's watching the games on TV. He hasn't been to a game yet, I don't believe, in the playoffs. And He watched the game with none other than Karl Malone while he was in DR. Couple questions. Number one, what do Drake and Malone talk about while the game is on?
Hoops. He's picking his brain. Like, I'm the ambassador of the Raptors. You a Hall of Famer. What do you see right there? What should I be looking for in my courtside seat? I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. And hopefully they were enjoying adult beverages.
Oh, yeah, they're on vacation. They're on
No
vacation.
doubt about
I'm sure
it.
they are. Here's my next question. Is Karl Malone too old to wear intentionally torn up jeans?
No. Karl Malone, as long as he's in the shape that he's in, can wear exactly what he wants to wear, stay true to his identity.
I also feel that the fashion rules are a little bit looser when you get out your passport and go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, when you're on foreign soil, you can push the limits a little bit. You know, you can dress a little bit younger than maybe you should, and I'm totally fine with that.
Absolutely. And for those wondering, wow, shouldn't Drake be at the game? Look
Yes.
at it like this.
I'm wondering that.
No.
He should be at the game.
It's like this. When the University of Michigan makes it to the NCAA tournament, if they're in the town that I'm currently in, of course I'm at the first game, the second game. But if I have to fly to watch them play, y'all gotta at least get to the Sweet 16.
I think, you know what? He's just like, look, y'all got the Bucks.
You know
He's
what
like,
I
you
mean?
don't need me
Y'all
for the
gotta
Bucks.
handle that.
You need another gear
Handle
for
that.
the Cavs.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Y'all take care of the Bucks. You need me for the Cavs. You need me for that, and I will be there. I would be shocked if Drake was not there for Game 1 on Monday.
Because what ends up happening is you get mad at your squad if they get bounced early. You're like, really? So that's how Drake would be
on
with
tour.
them.
I could have been on tour right
No
now
doubt.
in Europe. I
Yes,
could
indeed.
be making $100,000 a night because I thought you guys would make it to the second round. Tyronn Lue hosted a watch party for Game 6. He had 60 or 70 people from the organization over to his house. There were reportedly over 1,800
Rolexes,
wings.
Frank Mueller's watch party.
Is that too many people to have at your house at once? For me, that's way too many. There's no way I'm inviting 60 people to my house.
Under these circumstances, no. Because of the dynamics of a basketball team and an organization, you already, with your coaching staff and players, that's around 25 people. And then here's what happens. I'm going to tell you what happens. Now all of a sudden you like, man, I got to invite the trainer. I should invite the equipment guy. Should invite the manager.
Yeah,
and then before you know it, it's like, you know what? We got to invite the front office.
And we got to invite their wives, you know what I mean? Because we don't want them pulling away from their family. And then it just bubbles from there. But also, it's like 1,800 wings. Okay, fine. 60 people. Wait a second. Do the math. That's 30 wings a person. That wing to person ratio is way off. Yeah, that's way off.
It's not. It's not.
What? Wait, to-go plates?
No, because you got to look at it this way.
30 wings a person?
You're going to be there 4 hours. What? More than one plate, David Jacoby. I'm going in the first time. I'm getting about 10 or 12. I've seen you do it.
After
and
the
then
game's
2 or 3
over,
hours
if I'm
later,
Lou, I'm walking right to the door and opening it and just standing right next to it. That's what I'm doing. The second the buzz is over, just going right over to the door, opening it, and just going to stand right there and stare at people until they leave.
Stand by me.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Your man, the legend, Larry Bird. I had a poster of Larry Bird on my wall that I prayed to before basketball games.
Say that again.
In the 7th and 8th grade.
Say that again.
I prayed to the Larry Bird poster, the legend poster. That was my relationship with Larry Bird in basketball. Yours, a little different.
A lot different, to the point, growing up as a Detroit native, clearly a Bad Boys fan, rooted against him his entire career.
Hated him.
Respected him. Appreciated his greatness. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, rooted against him their entire careers. That's just how it was. Magic got a pass because he's a Michigan native.
Sure.
Met him at Purdue one time. We were playing on the road. We got a big victory. Everybody went to the locker room. I looked up like, that's Larry Bird sitting over there? Like, I'm going over there to say hi to him. Hey, Mr. Bird, big fan of yours. All up. Got a chance to meet him once or twice growing up. And then, all of a sudden, you fast forward X amount of years, he becomes my head coach in Indiana. He validates me after Larry Brown benched me. 15 DNPs. Our team didn't make the playoffs. Before you know it, we were playing against Michael and the Bulls in Game 7 of the 98 Eastern Conference Finals.
The news today is Larry Bird has stepped down as president of basketball operations for the Pacers. As someone that knows him, why did he do this?
He's one of those people that I don't see consistently doing a stressful job other than playing NBA basketball for a really long time.
He didn't seem happy in that series against the Cavs. No. Not a lot of cut to Larry Bird shots and he's standing up clapping and being like, these are my boys.
And that's his personality. He also is ultra competitive. The only person in the history of the league to win MVP as a player, a championship, and Executive of the Year. Extremely accomplished. Yep. But as I watched the Indiana Pacers and I watched Larry Bird just like you did, it reminded me of something when he said when he first started to coach the team. He said, y'all got 3 years to win a championship and I'm done. And we were like, man, if we play good, he ain't going to stop in 3 years. Like, I'm going to be done in 3 years. So we were on the clock. Though we had optimal success even making it to the team's first NBA Finals, you know what he did after that year? He retired. Who retires after just taking their team to the NBA Finals?
He's a man of his word.
And so I'm pretty sure in his head he had a clock for trying to do the exact same things as an executive. And so when he felt like it didn't take place, his humility continues to drive more than any skill that he's ever had on the basketball court. At this point of his life, it's about enjoying it, not sitting in the stands being stressed.
He just seemed disgusted with the team. If I was disgusted with this show, I wouldn't do this show anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like work shouldn't make you disgusted. Well, I wish him the best in retirement or whatever endeavor is next for Larry Bird.
I got to go check on him.
What's next for the Spurs and the Rockets is a second round series. What is the key to this series from your perspective?
You got the key. The three-point shot. The Houston Rockets, they fire them up, and they make them like no team in the history of the NBA. Mm-hmm. They have an elite player in James Harden, who has not only in the past led the league in total points, led the league this year in assists. He also is a closer, a finisher, and a dynamic player at all phases of the game offensively. And he makes the players around him better because they now have the talent to fit the style of play that Daryl Morey, now Mike D'Antoni, wants to institute. Enter Ryan Anderson. Enter Eric Gordon. Add on Lou Williams. Trevor Ariza can lock down on deep. Patrick Beverly's an improved shooter, already been a lockdown defender. Add Nene, who can slash and catch lobs. Add Clint Capella, who can also do that. So now they have the pieces to perform at a successful level. That's why they were third overall in the Western Conference. That's going to be the key to the Spurs. Can they suffocate the three-point line, force them to play mid-range, force them to slow down the pace? Because when they get into a windshield wiper game, they will have the opportunity to blow the Spurs out of the building. But I don't necessarily see that taking place.
What do you see taking place?
Kawhi Leonard plays for
San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, yeah. So they got a chance.
They got a chance.
They got a chance. Now, he's having such an amazing year, it gets overlooked, something that he has improved at. He already had a post game where he could turn over both shoulders. He already could play off the dribble. He could already play when he had a live dribble. Mm-hmm. He already played in transition. He could already finish at the hoop. For those that have not been paying attention, he is a knockdown three-point shooter now.
Best. Now he just shoots threes. He shoots threes with people on him now. He shoots like 42%.
And he can make free throws, plus he's clutch. Who's going to play with him? Tony Parker, they need more of what they just saw at the end of the last series.
They got a little bit from Tony Parker late in Game 6.
LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be a key. Danny Green is going to be a key. Patty Mills is going to have to play well. But I'm looking at the bigs. In particular, who's that peeking in my window?
Pow!
They're going to need him to have some signature moments because he's going to be a guy that allows them to slow down the game, play from the post, play from the elbow, get to the free throw line, slow down the pace. If he's not able to do that, along with LaMarcus up front, the Houston Rockets are going to be like this, and that's not good when they're going up and down like that.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We don't talk about LeVar Ball too much around here because he opens his mouth a lot. You know, he creates a lot of news. But there is actual news that's worth discussing now. Lonzo Ball, his son, is no longer a college basketball player. He's a professional basketball player, which means he can sign endorsement deals. Usually someone of his stature signs with Nike, Adidas, or Under Armour, all of which have not signed Lonzo Ball. A lot of this is because LeVar Ball has expressed a desire to create his own brand around his sons. What's your reaction to this news?
Let me pull you behind the curtain.
Take us behind the curtain, Mr. Rose.
It's called collusion. And if we allow the Ball family to own their own brand, a lot of other people going to want to do it. So us three need to all work together, see eye to eye to make sure we're on the same page, that we want to avoid this happening for as long as possible. I wish Fab Five, Black Sox, at that point in time, imagine if we would have trademarked and owned all of that.
Yeah.
And you fast forward 20 years later, LeBron's owning all of his. Whoever would have thought there was a player in the league that would basically represent other players, including ones on his team, and have all of the multiple business ventures that LeBron James has become a CEO in. That's a graduation from what we saw elite players have when it was just a shoe deal. Shoe companies know one thing: can't play barefoot. And there was a time when every player that was pretty notable would have a prominent shoe deal where they get paid 6 or 7 figures to wear basketball shoes. And then the companies colluded then and said, they got to wear something. You know what we're going to give you? We're going to give you product. So instead of giving you that big figure in cash, we're going to give you gear. That became the new deal for the majority of the players. There's some exceptions to every rule. You see James Harden popping up with his big deal, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, all big deals. Kyrie Irving on commercials. You see those guys. But that ain't the majority of the league. So they're saying, since this probably ain't the knockout, franchise-changing, generational-changing player, why don't we work together on this one?
There is something I like about this because I like independent productions. Like, it kind of like reminds me of someone who doesn't sign with a major label. I mean, granted, it doesn't seem like this was their choice, but it's like, let's just do it ourselves. Let's just do it ourselves. We can't play barefoot. We'll wear something. Maybe we'll sign with some foreign thing. They'll give us some equity, but allow us to build our own brand. You know what? If they don't believe in us, if they don't believe in us in Portland, and they don't believe in us in these executives in different companies, we'll just try to build our own. And by the time all three of us are in the league, we'll be strong enough to own our own path in the sneaker world.
Well said. And also, too, equate, like you see on the walls in this room, sports with music. They parallel in a lot of ways. You just described it. Artists used to be signed to a label.
You had to.
Then the masters deals changed. And then before you know it,
digital
guys start
distribution.
owning their own labels. And then the whole business changed to where the label said, wait a minute, you got your own liquor? You got your own clothing? You could do on your own. Wait a minute, 360 deals. They all work together to make that happen. That's what they're doing now to box out the Ball family. You know what breaks that chain? He come in and dominate.
He's got a ball. That's the thing. It's like, you know what? You can pop the trunk, you can go independent, but you got a ball. Because those shoes, your brand, all of that is an extension of your performance on the court.
And there are going to be a lot of people, nah. His father cost him some money. Nah. The shoe companies don't want to sign them. Let me teach all of you something. There's something to be said for ownership.
Equity. Equity is more valuable than cash up front if you can build that equity into something. And he's going to get paid millions of dollars to play basketball. You know what I mean? So, like, in the short term, they will be financially secure in the short term. And they're thinking, you know what we will do? We will bet on ourselves for the long term. And you know what? Power to them. If you're going to bet on something, why not just bet on your own performance? Yeah. While we're talking about sneakers, Kevin Plank, the CEO of Under Armour, came out and said, basically, no one buys Steph Curry's right now. No. You know, we've got a surplus. This is a problem. Do you think that this is a function of the Steph Curry threes not being as good as the Steph Curry twos? Is it a function of a sneaker, or is it a function of his performance on the court?
It's a function of expectation. Everybody's trying to figure how we can sell more shoes than Michael Jordan, which nobody has ever figured out. Mm-hmm. So now you have the high score up on a video game. And then what takes place is people's interest changed. And so instead of me wanting to just buy shoes for my favorite athlete, now I want to buy some Yeezys.
Yeah. Now
I want to buy Rihanna's. Now it has become not just about performance shoes, it's about flavor. It's about style. It's about,
to bring it back to music, like, not every song is a hit. Factor. Not every song is a hit. You had a hit last year, Steph Curry. Was he the unanimous MVP this year? No. Was he tearing up the league? Does he set the three-point record again this year?
No.
He had Kevin Durant. He adjusted. He is not the story of the league this year the way he was last year, and that's going to reflect itself somewhat in sneaker sales.
And it's going to be cyclical. It's interesting to hear the owner of the company come out and say it that way?
He had to because investor relations and things like that. Like they had to do performance results. So he's just kind of hedging it by being like, look, we had a hit last year and this one's not a hit.
It's a marathon. If I'm in the shoe business, I want Steph Curry.
Yes, you want Steph Curry on your team.
I ride those ebbs and flows.
I also want Steph Curry to shave if I'm but that's just me. I'm just like, hey, we were paying you millions and millions of dollars. Like, I'm gonna shave it up a little bit.
Well, first off, I don't care how much you pay me. I can wear my hair the way I want.
Okay.
Number two, if you don't get on James Harden about his beard, you can't get on nobody.
James Harden's beard look good though. James Harden's beard's not all red and scraggly. Come on,
tell
Steph.
the truth for those hip hop fans. Don't he look like J. Rue the Damager?
James Harden? A little bit. He better come clean. Jalen Rose.
What up, though?
We're learning a little bit more about this NBA Awards on June 26th in New York, hosted by
Drizzy
Drake. There will be some other awards given out that evening.
Oh, I like awards.
Let me read you what those awards are going to be.
Yeah.
Dunk of the Year.
Okay.
Best Style. Block of the Year. Assist of the Year. Game Winner of the Year. And Top Performance of the Year.
Two of those sound like Russell Westbrook right off the top.
Right off the top.
The game winner at Denver.
Yep, and Performance of the Year.
And outfits.
Yeah, see, this is Russell Westbrook's going to have a very busy night on June 26th.
He'll be there. They're going to make sure
he bought 20 tickets.
And he bought
30
MVP.
tickets. Yeah, he bought so many tickets. It's already sold out. It's already sold out just with Russell Westbrook. And
Here's the only thing I want to throw out there. I just suggested it probably is going to be a lot tougher to get the elite players to be there depending on how their playoff run ends.
James Harden loses to the Spurs, knows he's not getting MVP. Why is he booking a trip to go there?
Same with Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Same with the Golden State Warriors
If they
or
lose,
the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Whoever loses in the finals, it's going to be – people are not excited to go celebrate the season that ultimately ended in a loss.
At that point of the year.
Yes.
It's only a week later.
However, Russell Westbrook will be there. And either the Warriors or the Cavs will be there.
Now, let me tell you who will be there, though. The other 400 guys in the league.
Sure. Yeah. If you're up for Performance of the Year and you don't think you're going to win, I'll still go there. I'll make a nice trip to New York City. Here's the thing about it, is these are all going to be voted on by the fans. You support this. You don't like fan voting, though.
I like fan voting on things that don't affect legacy. When they're voting for All-Star and you introduce a guy and you say he's been an X-time All-Star, that affects legacy. When you're talking to me about starting in the All-Star game, that affects legacy. These are things that are fun, that are innocent. I agree with the fans voting for these.
You would have the fans vote for you. This is an appropriate thing for the fans to vote on. All-Star, keep the fans away.
They can vote for the last two spots.
Well, the
11th and the 12th
reserve spots?
11th and 12th spot.
See, I don't know. Those bubble spots, those are the important decisions, Jalen. I'm not. Look. Which
I'm
side
trying
of the
to
fence
give
are
them
you
some
on?
love.
They have this. They've got Dunk of the Year.
I agree.
They've got Top Performance.
You know what?
They've got Best Style.
You know what I got to continue to be? The bouncer at the club. No, keep them out.
Yeah, keep them out. Keep them out. Not tonight. Not
Keep 'em
tonight.
out.
Too many guys.
Keep
Too
'em
many
out.
guys.
Keep 'em
Too
out.
many guys.
Keep them out.
I
Wrong
understand.
dress code.
Dwayne Wade said there was no hot water in TD Garden after the game against the Celtics.
What?
A lot of that is where and how you grew up playing basketball.
Okay.
I grew up in a Detroit public school where we didn't even consider taking showers after the game.
Nope.
It was not even an option because the facilities weren't adequate. The water definitely wasn't going to be hot.
Nope.
And you wanted to get out there as fast as possible, especially if you won, for obvious reasons. Boston Garden, back in the day, is legendary for making it uncomfortable for the opponent. I remember playing in the Boston Garden and walking inside of the locker room. It was just as cold in there as it was outside. Windows basically cracked. It literally was a situation where the facilities for the road team were worse than the ones for the home team.
Duh.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
All you got to do is have one person go turn a knob on a hot water tank.
I'm sorry, we made a mistake. Oh, I'm sorry, we made a little mistake.
We doing that.
We made a little mistake.
We doing that.
You know, there's so much love in our hearts, and we try to keep it positive. But sometimes there's things that come across the sports news world where we just can't keep it positive. And this was the celebration of Serena Williams' pregnancy. She's number 1 in the world, and she's pregnant. She won the Australian Open when she's pregnant. There's so much positivity surrounding Serena Williams right now. It just makes me happy. And then there is the comments of Ilie Nastase.
Yeah, I want to give him the gas face. He's the Romanian FedEx Cup champion. Okay? Had a terrific career. I think he's in his 70s at this point. And for those that don't know, Serena's in a mixed relationship. And so in our climate, there will be people that still look at that and interpret a certain way. And I was really offended by his comments. Here's what he had to say. Let's see what color it has. What? Babies aren't its. Its are things. That's really offensive. It's really rude. It's flagrant. It's disrespectful. And it's foul. And you know what he did to apologize? He doubled down. It made it worse. He said, I'm not racist. If I would have said ugly black baby, ugly black baby, that would be racist.
To dig the hole deeper, double down apology is the worst apology.
How about beautiful black baby? You ever thought about that?
Or just don't be racist in the first place.
How about just allowing others to do them while you do you?
We're preempted on the radio today, but as we always do, we give the people what they want here, so we have to interact with our podcast listeners, our favorite fans. Even though we've sold all the way out, we will never sell out on you. First question that we have is from Chilling the Most. He tweets us, I'm going on a blind date tomorrow night. Any advice? Huh.
I have advice.
Okay.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah.
That's how you got into this. You're going on what type of date?
Blind.
That means you're going to have an open mind.
And here's the thing is they say there's this there's some sort of scientific study. It's like, oh, a woman knows whether or not she's going to sleep with a man in the first 30 seconds. And, like, you know, my joke about that is, like, what are you doing for the other 27 seconds? You know what I mean? Like, you know immediately. But you have to remember that initial response, your physiological response to their physical being is not the end-all, be-all of your opinion to them, which is to back up your thing, is have an open mind. They might not be the type of person that you would normally date, but give them the chance. Because I've seen some oddball couples be extremely successful in this world. We're also going to go to our voicemail. Remember, you can call 985-80-JALEN and leave us a voicemail. Let's listen to the first one.
Good morning, Jalen Jacoby. This is J.J. Maris, son of the Dominican Republic from H-Town. Quick question, just to follow up on the showing the socks and the slide. I'm Dominican. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, we like to go out with some sandals, even when I go out to the beach. I mean, there's some nice ones that you can get from Calvin Klein, Kenneth Cole. They make some very good-looking ones that, if you put the proper attire, believe me, you look good. But I believe that's more like a cultural thing. Now, what's the deal with the socks and the slide? Like, was there some sort of rule? Who started this, and why is that still a thing in 2017? Holla, your boy. Keep getting them checks. Shout out.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love.
We love all the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans, all of our islanders.
We are open-minded to diversity. That's what this program is all about.
Not just of ethnic backgrounds, also of footwear.
No question. And so I appreciate the acknowledgement. I stand corrected. When we're talking about sandals, we're particularly talking about we personally don't wear them in
urban environments. I'm an urbanite person. You know what I mean? Like in urban environments. If you are in the Dominican Republic, please flex those sandals. Have some linen on, some leather, brown leather sandals. You can kill that. But I'm in Los Angeles and New York.
And I said two distinct reasons why. One, I have corns on every feet.
Mm-hmm. Which might have something to do with the socks and sandals movement.
Two, got to be able to run. You never know what might go down.
You just never know. You just never know. You never want to be in a position where I can't sprint right now. Do you know what I often think when I'm at the end of a long jog, like I'm on mile 10 of an 11-mile jog? I think to myself, I'd be so easy to rob right now. I'd just be like, I'm too tired.
That's why you won't have nothing with you when you're doing that run.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the call. And also, I don't know who started the flip-flops and socks movement. It was brought to my attention by none other than Big Boy of Outkast. I'm not saying that he's the reason. I'm just saying that's how I got turned on to it. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, Jalen Jacoby. This is Michael from Maryland. Quick shout out to Jacoby's son, Quincy. I know I wasn't the only person who wasn't a fan of Tunnel Vision. Quincy said that song was fake. I agree. But I was looking on Instagram, and Jalen says he doesn't have an Instagram. I looked and searched, and I saw an account that says official Jalen Rose with a picture of him and his 2 daughters posted in 2012. So either he didn't delete it or he has an imposter.
This is a great point. I've wanted the same thing. You holler and holler and holler about not having an Instagram, but you have an Instagram.
Basically, what took place was this. My daughter Mariah started an Instagram for me. Mm-hmm. I forwarded her the picture that I would like on there. It's a picture of me and my daughters when I was working a collegiate basketball game during a tournament in Atlanta. And then she discovered I can have my own page. I ain't trying to update yours. And that's why it only has one picture. And I've never posted anything on there. Maybe I need to bring it back to life.
You'll bring it to life. Let's do it. Can we do that next week?
No.
Okay. I'll work on it. I know that's what the people want, so I'll keep working on Jalen off wax, and I'll get him on Instagram soon. Next is this one. I saw this one. I want to speak on this. This is from Greg. Greg says, soft move or boss move? Greeting your Uber driver with words. FYI, you treat Uber drivers like they aren't human. Please reconsider. One thing I want to make very clear is I've never been rude to a person, especially someone who is doing a service for me.
Especially somebody that's driving a vehicle and have my life in their hands.
Exactly. Like, it's not that I act negatively towards Uber drivers. I'm just saying during this business transaction, we can keep this as a business transaction. You drive me where I'm going, and I pay you for that service. Like, the level of small talk conversation is unlike any other business transaction outside of like a barber relationship or something. It's like the waitress doesn't ask me how I'm doing and where I'm going and where I'm from and this and that. They bring me my burger and ask me if I want some ketchup. We don't have to be best friends. I have respect and love for all the people that get me where I'm going. I just doesn't mean I have to express it.
We respect everyone to the point where not only are we please and thank you type of individuals, we tip really well.
Would you rather I talk to you, or would you rather I give you $10?
$10.
$10.
Never have to talk to me in life. I want the bread.
Let's listen to one more voicemail.
What up, though? Jacoby, Jalen. Not always Jalen and Jacoby. Sometimes we like to switch it up. So my man's up in Portland, CJ McCollum, saying that Paul George should come to the Blazers. Is that going to happen? Please tell me that's going to happen. We need PG-13 up in the Pacific Northwest. Anyways, keep giving the people what they want.
Here's what everybody need to understand.
Please tell them.
Larry Bird just stepped down as president of operations for the Indiana Pacers. I don't know if Donnie Walsh is going to be the person that assumes those responsibilities or they're going to hire somebody else too. But either way, Paul George is under
He's on contract.
Paul George is under contract next season to play basketball in Indianapolis.
It's that simple. For some reason, everyone's talking about him like he's a free agent. He is on contract, and until he is traded, he's on the Pacers.
And if and when he gets traded, unlike Melo, LeBron, or Dirk, he does not have a no-trade clause.
Exactly. We will always record these exclusive segments just for you, our podcast listeners. We love you so much. Before we go, we wanted to address something that happened this week. Mr. Rose?
Unfortunately, ESPN did multiple layoffs this past week. Friends, colleagues, co-workers, just human beings.
With families.
I never, ever root for anyone to lose their job in any way, shape, or form. It's a lot different than sports because if you're rooting for a team and they're doing poorly, you say, oh, the coach probably should go, or the general manager probably should go, because that comes with that job. When you work for a big company, unfortunately, when times change, when situations change, tough decisions have to be made. And I just want to give a salute, pay homage, a tribute in my very small way from Jalen and Jacoby. My sincere appreciation and gratitude. All of those that were affected by those cuts, we're going to miss you. We're thinking about you. And more importantly, I'm not going to make this a somber moment because I think all of those talented individuals will find success in their own way.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on
Thank
ESPN2
you.
and ESPN News, and subscribing
Thank you.
to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
You are far too kind.
Give the people